Hello there. Welcome to my deck. I was out here yesterday, but today I installed new lights, which I'm hoping come on very soon. Anyway, happy anniversary. Today is actually technically the first anniversary of the protest in Wellington's first night of occupation. They went down on Waitangi Day, but yesterday was far more important to focus on Waitangi Day than it is on those fucking idiots who decided to protest in Wellington a year ago. Now, this was the country's biggest griftathon. It's like a telethon without the chocolate song. It's very weird. And it's been used ever since as a way to try and recapture that special place of aroha and love that the protesters felt while they were down there, standing next to Nazis, like literal fucking Nazis, as well as people who were threatening to kill politicians and the Prime Minister. You know, and if you don't tell them that that's bad, you're as bad as they are. It's pretty common sense. So I have no sympathy for those people that were down there or how it ended. What I do find fascinating, though, is that in the last 12 months, I've had a chance to meet about a dozen people who went down to that protest. First of all, they always start with, "See, we're not that bad," which is a terrible way to introduce yourself. And yeah, you kind of are. I wouldn't employ you. You've obviously got no cognitive thinking skills. So asking you to do something to look after other people, obviously not your strong point. But the thing I find fascinating the most is that they still have this absolute livid hatred for the politicians that were involved, which is really fascinating to me because the mandates were dropped in September, but you wouldn't know it if you talk to these people who feel that the mandates are still in place and it's some big conspiracy. But they've been constantly fed misinformation and disinformation from their networks, amplified through things like the algorithms on social media that basically makes them feel like they can trust the information that they're seeing until they get to a point where they can't trust the people that are telling them the opposite. It's very divisive. It's not very good at all for society. These particular people, though, are still angry and still finding things to be angry about, even though what they were protesting about initially is completely gone. Which is kind of depressing, unless you're a grifter, in which case it's probably like, ka-ching, yay, look at all these idiots, I get to take their money. And then I get to turn around and say stupid things like, look at how they're ruining our passports, or Māori wards are about hospitalisation for some reason. Because that's what they do. It doesn't matter what they say as long as they keep people angry. Because if you keep people angry, that's how you take their money off them, because they're paying for you to fix the problem, or at least to hear you vent about it. So one of the things that we need to do this year is try and make sure that their voices are minimized, those grifters in particular, because that spread of misinformation, disinformation, it's not helping anyone. It's making things a lot worse. Thank God we don't have to deal with that fucking terrible music festival vibe again this year, because it was like the world's shittiest music festival down there.